Welcome to Geeks of the Round Talks, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., episode 4 of the second season, which of course is called Face My Enemy, which, by the way, is a horrible, horrible pun on the episode itself. I'm your host, Matt Moore, and I'm here with our panel. We'll start with the guy we can barely see, Isaiah Mullins. How you doing, Isaiah?
Well, you know me, folks, and everyone else. Hello. The black guy you can't really see because, you know, it's logic up in here. It's too much logic and you can't see me. Anyways, I love this episode. I got a raging boner because of other things.
All right, and you do know that your room does have a light in it, right?
Yeah, but my room is small and that light is very dim, so yes, I'm screwed anyways.
Okay, all right. Next to him, we have his husband, Charles Whedon. How you doing, Charles?
Hello, everyone.
At least we have 3/4 of Charles because he's got his camera a little high on in the room. There we go.
There's a reason why.
And last but not least, we have Andy. How you doing, Andy?
Welcome to level 7, bitches. How you doing tonight?
All right. So let's talk about this episode.
Almost a delayed answer.
It was actually a pretty exciting episode. There was one fight that I think lasted a lot longer than it really should have, but still, it was still a pretty decent episode. How did you like the episode, Andy?
It's actually my favorite episode of the season so far.
Oh, okay. How about you, Charles?
I won't say it's my favorite episode.
No, I was just
Okay.
I was about to hiccup, so I held my mouth.
Oh, okay. Charles, go for it.
What I was about to say that it was a good episode, but I would not label it as the best episode so far. I wouldn't.
All right. And how about you, Isaiah?
I agree with Andy. It's one of my favorite episodes of this season as well.
Well, there's only been 4, so are you sure about that?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Everything that I wanted.
I kind of like the very first episode because I really like the bad guy. So I would place this at number 2.
Yeah.
I really liked Absorbing Man.
So did I.
Yeah, me too.
I don't really understand why you guys think this episode was so great. To be honest, I thought of it as your typical average S.H.I.E.L.D. episode.
Charles.
I can at least tell my reasons why I love it so much, because one of the things I've enjoyed so much about S.H.I.E.L.D. is the relationship between Coulson and May, and their history and everything. So it was kind of nice to get to see them being the prime focus of this week's episode, because there's been a lot of focus on Lance Hunters and Mac, Fitz, Sky, Triplet, and so on. So it was kind of nice too, because these two agents are the ones that've been part of S.H.I.E.L.D. the longest out of all these characters that we have on the show. So, and also because Ming-Na and Clark are amazing together, so that's why I loved it so much.
Cool. And yeah, that's very true. Is that we start to get a little bit of maybe just the inkling of background when it comes to the show itself. We haven't really seen that. I mean, they start talking about past missions that they did, that they were involved in, about how they used to dance together on some of those missions. And it almost gives an inkling of maybe there was a romantic thing there, but then you kind of have to face reality and realize, no, there probably wasn't. But, I mean, it gives hints that maybe there was. And I thought it was a pretty cool story. I do want to bring up the Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. question of the week. I ended up asking the question, who was the biggest badass this week? We only, of the 5 people that I put up, only 3 of them got votes. At 25%, we had Fitz.
Oh.
Which I guess I can see.
I can see that mostly, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, he did overcome, like, he didn't overcome it, but he faced kind of his fear. Of course, he ended up, like, actually bonding with the guys, as it were.
Yeah, it was actually nice.
We did have 25% at Melinda May, which is kind of surprising. I totally expected her to win it. And then we had 50% at Phil Coulson.
Wow.
Who agrees with what? Andy, like, do you think Phil Coulson is Melinda May? Or?
Melinda was more badass than anyone.
And
Mm,
can you see why they might have chosen Coulson?
I think because he actually got to do a lot more action scenes this week, he actually got to be part of it. We saw him actually go up against, you know, May, Agent 33, and and that's something that we don't see a lot by Clark. Seeing him actually fight a lot because he's usually, the guy who gives all the commands and everything. So I can see what you're coming from, but I'm sorry, all those scenes with Melinda May, uh-uh.
well, I can pretty much explain. I can be more like why Coulson got more votes, and I know a little bit why. Well, since Coulson had some good action scenes, but that was just the icing on the cake. It was just how he presented himself was more stronger and more because he had the connection with May. It was more believable, and also you felt like you liked it even more than the movies because he said a lot of interesting and a little bit more sad things. If the bad things do come to him, he said you got to do what is right. So it was kind of like sad, but also kind of badass kind of way. Like, yeah, just do it. I don't want to become this person. Just do it. So it
So
was
what
really
you're
like,
saying is what caused him to be badass is him facing the idea of death and not flinching and being like, okay, you know what? Like, if I become evil, I'd much rather be dead than evil.
right, and that's really an interesting moment. And actually, it's kind of strong. Like, I'm gonna copy some Dark Knight movie, but live long to be the villain or die to be the hero.
All right, Charles, who do you vote for?
Well, with Fitz, I can see why 25% of the votes would go to him. I can see that because even though he didn't really do much in this episode, most of what he did in this episode was avoiding like social interaction, which I can actually relate to, which I thought was cool. But when everything went to hell on the bus and he really stepped up and all that, I really like that. However, I can't really agree with Andy with Melinda May being a badass because, well, she's always a badass. So this is no different, and so she's sort of exempt from this whole list of badassery. But I would have to, but I don't really want to agree with Coulson. I mean, Coulson was good in this episode, but I just don't think that he was as active. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the stuff that he did in the episode just didn't really wow me that much. So I'm pretty much indifferent towards everybody.
Wow,
I,
really?
yeah, I am. I'm just going like, oh look, it's these agents of Shield just kicking the crap out of Hydra. Okay, nothing new. Yeah.
Poor
And
Charles.
that is you bring up a point that I had actually forgotten, and that is that when the bus was being attacked, was being taken over, it was Fitz who stepped up and saved the day. Like,
That
I
is
had almost forgotten about that when it came to being a badass.
Yeah.
right, but I mean, I understand the Fitz situation, but again, Coulson, like you said before, he's not afraid facing death, but also he's getting his hands dirty with a lot of missions he's been on, like trying to get this one object from Hydra. That's actually really cool, and plus talking to Talbot, that was actually badass too. I
I
love
have to
those
say
things too
one
with this.
thing. I just
I'm
need to say
sorry.
one thing about Talbot. When it was revealed that Talbot, I didn't know that it wasn't him, but when I saw him being part of Hydra, I was so pissed off because I'm like, I love Adrian Pastor and I love Talbot, and there's no fucking way I'm gonna accept this. So I was like banging my head like on my desk and so on. I was like, no, I'm not gonna accept it, and then it wasn't him.
See, that's
That
it. I had the
mustache.
opposite reaction. I had the opposite reaction. Like, when they showed Talbot as being part of Hydra, I'm all like, I knew it. I freaking knew it. And then it ended up not being true.
You're going like,
Like, I
yes,
thought he
it's
was.
awesome. Aww.
Yeah, and this kind of verifies that he isn't Hydra, because if he were Hydra, they would not have needed to impersonate him.
Right.
Oh, I would have seen it would have made sense if he was because of his big hatred towards Colton and Shield, but also at the same time, Talbot is not really Hydra in the comic book, so and I don't think they want to make every like non-Hydra character a Hydra character on the show, so and
Well,
I was just thrilled that he wasn't Hydra.
Mm.
Yeah,
well, there's
and
there's 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 characters in the comic books that have shown up in the MCU that were not Hydra in the comic books, not even secretly a part of
I
Hydra,
know.
but yet they turned out to be Hydra in the MCU. Like, I don't know, Jasper Sitwell?
I know that's why I said not every non-Hydra character doesn't need to be Hydra. I was kind of hinting at Sidwell, so. But
Right.
There's also there's also Reyna. Reyna's another uh, person who is not exactly a fan of Shield, who's not Hydra.
Well,
Yeah.
She has worked for Hydra, but she's not
Well,
actually.
she's a fan of Coulson than she is of Shield and Hydra because she sees more she sees a lot of potential in him. He doesn't see it, but she does. So she's a fan of him, but not for Shield or Hydra. But now she's kind of forced to work for Hydra, if you think about it.
Yeah.
And that was actually something I kind of liked. Was speaking of, sorry, her brought me back to the alien language, brought me back to Talbot, or at least this scene, is that when Coulson was talking to Talbot and he's all like, "Oh, I don't know what happened. The painting got destroyed in the acquisition. I don't know." I don't know. That scene just made me chuckle so much because there's no way whatsoever that Talbot would ever even consider believing him when it came to that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That scene just tickled me.
I think the only person that Talbot really trusts is his own mustache.
Do you think he only trusts his mustache?
No,
His
he
own
didn't-
What
mustache.
about his brother
Yes, he saw my joke. God damn it.
Peter?
What about his mother? He trusts his mother too.
No one trusts Mama Petrelli.
That's
No one
true,
trusts
too.
Mama
I don't
Petrelli.
trust her either.
I always forget. I always keep forgetting that. Oh wait, Talbot can't fly like Petrelli, like Nathan. Oh, I
Oh,
miss Nathan so much. I'm so fucking pissed what Heroes did with his character at the end.
It was kind of stupid too. I kind of wish Heroes and the Marvel Universe combined together. It'd be so awesome.
Oh fuck no.
No,
not?
I'm going to have to agree with Andy on this, Isaiah. It would not work.
That mean
No.
we would have Matt Parkerman part of that universe, and fuck no, I hate him. I hate
How
that
about for
actor.
Siler?
what? You hate Matt Parker or Matt Parkman?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We will talk about it after the show, and I want to bring up this point.
No.
Are you-
First off, before we get to anything, we have to start talking about the tire treads. I'm kidding, Andy. Go ahead.
Are you guys starting to get worried about Coulson's health and his mental stability? Because I don't know where they're going with this.
His health is going to be unaffected. However, his mental health, however, is an entirely different story. But his physical health, he's going to be
Well,
fine.
that's the same
Okay,
thing you said. So
I've now created a wild speculation thanks to that question. So I will answer that a little later,
right.
unless I
think-
pull a Charles.
I have a speculation behind it too, but I'm not going to say it after we get to that moment. So I'll keep it to myself for the time being.
Okay, so what's next?
Let's see. So
They can dance.
something that I've noticed on this is that we've had Fitz, and Fitz has twice now at the end of both episodes gone with a decent amount of text without stuttering.
Right.
Do we think this is going to be a much more common thing as time goes on, and he's just going to?
That is improving? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Do we think that he's improving, or do you think that literally like something's going to snap in his head and he's just going to be normal Fitz again?
I think it's getting better. I hope if that is the case, I hope that is going to be a season arc. I don't want to see by the business finale he's all the the smart fits again, no problem. I want to see this be a whole season, because realistically, someone that has been damaged like that cannot recover that quickly, and it's been
Right.
in the Shield world, so I don't know.
Well,
I would actually hope that he doesn't change at all. I think that after the level of genius that he had before, I mean, that genius is still there, but his social interaction, however, has been completely damaged. And
It
to be
wasn't
honest,
great in the first place.
it wasn't great in the first place,
Right.
but now it's worse. And I
His
would
memory, this is his
I would
memory.
say that the way that he is now actually makes him seem more human than before, and I think that's great for his character. So I think that if they were to bring him back to old Fitz, it would not sit well with me.
Well,
I'm saying
So
that
you,
you're much more
so you want to see
imaginative than I expected, Charles. Because
What?
that's the second thing you've said. That's the second, like, out of the box way of thinking thing you've said in this hangout. I think you're more imaginative than I've given you credit for so
I
far.
know, right? It's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
go
can't
on.
hear the applause, Isaiah. It doesn't count if I can't hear it.
That's the point. That's the point. Isaiah logic right there. Thank you.
What the fuck, man?
All right. So how about you, Isaiah? Do you think he's getting better? Do you think he's just going to improve all of a sudden at one time? Do you think he is worse now than he was before? Because that's actually a point I'm about to make, because I don't think he is.
Well, it's like a double-edged sword. He is getting better, but he's not getting better. However, if he didn't really imagine Simmons so many times, he might get better. It's just since he got memory loss for a brief moment, and he's having a hallucination, he needs to break away from that to actually get better. But I don't see that happening anytime soon, unless
But
she does come back.
we did get a hint of that in the scene where he has a beer with the guys, and
Yeah, I
one
love
second
that
she's
scene.
there, and then when he looks back at her direction, she's gone as a sign of, I don't need you. I have these people now.
Right. It's like when you get done talking to yourself, yeah, when you have real friends, it's like I don't need to talk to myself. I got real friends. So I see that him getting a little bit more better, but his short-term memory loss, I don't see his getting any time better. I don't think it's gonna get better or worse. It's gonna be like the same status, unless they got super soldier serum stashed away.
Oh no.
What? That'd
Or
be
they
so cool.
or they blue alien them.
Hey.
No, no more of that.
No more blue alien.
Oh,
No
they
more
can
blue
use,
alien.
they can use extremists.
And
Oh.
we can just no, I don't want to see him become like a fucking exploding bomb every time he freaks out. Well,
So my thing is there was something that happened. I think it was in the very first episode. If it wasn't the first, it was the second. That I'm having a hard time letting go of, and that is that at one point he created a solution, or maybe he was looking, maybe it was the cloaking device, and he ended up using knowledge that he should not necessarily have of animals. That it would have been Simmons. Basically, Simmons went, "Hey, do this." And of course, it wasn't actually Simmons; it was his own brain.
Well,
I'm still having a hard time letting go of that, and I'm wondering whether or not he's in his brain by hurting his brain. He has not accessed part of his brain that he did not.
I'm not really sure I understand what problem you're having with this.
I see what he's talking about though. So like his brain should be a little bit more hurting, or pretty much more like being more suffering and pain. He's thinking about all these other things that Fitz and Simmons be doing. However, I don't think it's actually hurting himself. I think it's actually growing and pretty much helping him exercise his mind, actually make him better. Because he's mimicking what Simmons always does. He doesn't see it, but he does do it. So it's a mimicking type status that's trying to keep him stable.
But see, the thing that I think about with Simmons in his mind is that everything that Simmons is saying, that's Fitz saying that. It's that part of the brain that that knows all of that stuff, but it's in his mind it's been created as the form of Simmons. So it's really Fitz talking to himself.
However, the knowledge that was presented was knowledge that Simmons would have that Fitz would not.
Right.
That's why I'm wondering whether or not he is accessing more of his brain than he was previous.
I think we need to see more episodes before we can judge that. It's still early on in the season, so yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Perfect. Now, let's talk Melinda May's fight. First off, Melinda May in lingerie, not exactly a bad thing to look at.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was staring, not looking. I was just pretty much saying like, oh, look at that.
You
Yeah,
pigs.
I want to see her more. Wow, look at that. Oh.
Seeing Melinda May kick ass in lingerie is actually kind of hot, to be honest.
It was so weird too. Like, was I getting bored because she was in lingerie, or was I getting bored because she's fighting herself? Which is like masturbation.
All right. Well, Isaiah's not going to be in the next hangout or the next few hangouts. He's being suspended from Geeks Around for a little while. I'm of course. What's that?
No, nothing.
It was a dream I had. Okay, it was just a great dream I had, or a fantasy.
All right.
No, Isaiah, just stop.
I like
Just stop talking, Isaiah.
I like that fight. I was very like it's actually that fight they had was actually in pair with how they fight on Arrow actually because Arrow has a lot of great choreography and fight stunts and so on, and I think that was in pair with what they were doing.
I
So
agree.
and I think Ming Na Wen, I think she said somewhere on Twitter that she did most of the stunts herself. I think she was basically fighting her own stunt double, or she was fighting I don't know, maybe the actress who plays Agent 33.
Yeah, and also, folks, she was beating herself.
All right, so
And
I want
I,
to
I
know
have one more thing to
how.
say.
Yeah, I've just decided to ignore Isaiah. Did you have something to say? Because you're allowed to talk, Andy.
Okay, I was gonna say that I don't know who I'm more afraid to piss off now, the Hulk or Melinda May, because when she broke out of that chair, oh my God, the look on her face,
what?
she was about to snap back his head.
Yeah, it's like, wow, dude, you didn't try to kill her? Why did you try to kill her? Do something. Like, you tied her up. Wow. It's Melinda May, for God's sakes. Okay, whatever. You get your ass kicked.
I think that at this point we can pretty safely say that the only members of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and TV universe that can beat Melinda May are all in the Avengers.
Well, I don't know about Black Widow or Hawkeye, but
Or
Black
Captain
Widow
America.
absolutely can, and Hawkeye is supposed to be her equal. You remember the scene in which she was tied up by the Russians,
oh
and
yeah,
she was on a phone call
and
while
she was
tied to
tied
a
up
chair?
too. Yeah, it's like,
Melinda can do that too.
Uh,
eh,
I'm actually willing to say this right now on Geeks Around that I think that Black Widow has found her equal in Melinda May.
mm, well, I'd love to see those two fight. That'd be so awesome.
Well,
well,
that
yes,
actually
for
puts me into
different
some
reasons.
interesting speculation, to be honest.
I have speculation of that too. Yay.
I go first because I need to make sure that you don't steal mine.
He said go first.
Oh my God.
Okay, so let me see what else to do. First off, how do you fight in a gold glitter dress, or sorry, a silver glitter dress?
You're Ming Na Wen. That's how you do it.
Right.
Okay,
Oh, we forgot one thing. I forgot to interrupt you, Matt, but we forgot one thing. The operation, how they
you
went to
forgot
that.
to interrupt me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anyways,
Oh no, he didn't.
okay. We forgot like what led him off to this place. Like before May's fight, before Talbot, it was actually an operation already in play here, which is Hunter trying to get
I didn't.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I didn't understand a shit you just said.
Oh, that's nothing new.
Can you
Any
restate that, please, Isaiah?
Okay, I say it slowly. Okay, there was an operation to get the painting.
Oh, Isaiah, I'm not forgetting to interrupt you. Okay,
I
go on.
know. I know, right? Anyways, there was an operation to get that painting with the alien writing. So the team said, let's make a good plan. So Hunter, he did his persuasion tactics on a lady, and he got her phone, which Sky hacked and got ticket money to get to his rich person's club, and that's how everything went down. It was an operation already in play. So that was really cool because Shield was acting more fast and active than beforehand.
They're being more proactive. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Okay. I actually missed like the first 2 minutes of the episode, so I did not see that particular part.
Oh, look at you now! Wow.
I'm
Isaiah
sorry,
Hutch.
but I watched it live, like on TV. East
Oh
Coast.
wow. You
East
watched
Coast.
it live. I watched it. I don't know. Oh, that's right, on the Hulu Plus. Oh, that's right.
That means I watched it before you did, bitch. That shit
But I
never.
still remember it. But I still remember it. Bitch. Oh. Oh. Oh.
What the hell is happening?
He's getting
Says
owned
half
by
of
a jaywalker.
Charles's head. We see from your nose up. That's it.
Yes. Are you dying over there?
So,
I think he's just
but yeah,
lazy.
I actually ended up watching this and The Flash and Forever actually live on East Coast TV. So it was all basically I had watched everything before like 8 p.m. My time, which is kind of cool.
Well, look at you.
I know, Mr. Rockefeller.
Mr. Rockefeller. I watched it on a pirated stream.
Again, Mr. Rockefeller.
Pirated means free.
So.
All right. So, Charles, you live closest to him. Will you go kick his ass?
I don't know. What's in it for me?
Housing. That's what you get. Housing.
Purpose.
Purpose.
Mostly
There
housing.
you go.
Oh, did I say that out loud?
No, Charles
Sorry,
loves
bro.
housing. He loves housing so much. Like, oh my God, there's housing! Yay! Oh, look at that housing! Look at that
Housing
housing!
and MMOs, dude. He's talking about real life.
Please, you think that it is real life? Like, ooh, look at that housing, Isaiah! Look
No,
at
I
that!
don't.
Yes, you do.
No,
Lady.
Charles,
Lady.
or anyone, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. Let's get to speculation. I think we said everything we can say about this episode. Coulson got the
Well, no,
painting.
no.
GG.
No,
All right,
Listen.
well, wild speculation because
Yeah.
Charles called it. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah. Ladies first.
Give me a second. I'm trying to remember my speculation.
Oh my
God.
fucking god.
We took too long, man.
Took too long, dude.
3 minutes ago.
Right.
I forgot it like about a minute and a half after I
You
mentioned
suck.
it.
You suck.
My dad.
I don't even remember what we were talking about that led to the speculation.
Oh my God.
Dude, listen to me. My dad will be able to remember his speculation about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and he doesn't even fucking watch the show.
All right, so my wild speculation, which I guarantee does not tread on Charles's wild speculation. My wild speculation is the fact that Garrett was unable to do this, but I think Phil Coulson is going to be able to do it. Is that he has this power or this energy that is building up within him, and that's what's giving him the shakes, and that's what's making him write things out. And I think that at some point he's going to find a way to harness it. Whether or not he keeps it after he actually uses it for what it's supposed to be used for, we will see. But I think that he is going to somehow harness it as either a tool or a weapon.
Interesting.
Beat that, Charles.
If you can remember it.
Anything, Charles?
All right, I'm going to have to
Still
let
trying
Isaiah
to figure it
go.
out.
He's going to say your wild speculation. Go ahead, Isaiah.
All right. Here it is, folks. Here's the fake one and the real one. The fake one is I see Phil Coulson becoming the Watcher. If you think about it, remember the keys of life, the Watcher, and now the real speculation.
You're only saying that because he's a white man.
Yeah, that too. He's not bald yet, but yeah, it's gonna happen. Look at Nick Fury. Oh, spoilers. Anyways, back to what I was saying beforehand.
Nick Fury's not the Watcher either.
Yes, he is. He is in the comic books now. He's cursed.
Well, yeah, but that's in the fucking comic books, not in the fucking Marvel Cinematic
But that's so great, though. That's so great.
Uatu, or whatever his fucking name is. He's not
Well,
the
he's
Watcher.
Well, he
Uatu.
is now. He is now. He's dead.
Not
Sky's,
Uatu.
I think
Uatu.
Sky's dad maybe the Watcher. Why would he want Why would he want the Obelisk so much?
To
Because
rule the world.
the Obelisk summons the Watcher.
To rule the world.
No, it summons the Watcher. That's all it does.
And to rule the
We
world.
don't know that it summons the Watcher. First off, we don't know
Anyways,
the Watcher exists.
Back to my real speculation,
Uh.
interrupted by Andy, Charles, and Matt. Anyways, the real speculation. I don't see Coulson becoming evil, but he might become more and more darker as time goes on. And it's speculated as a civil war, if that's going to happen in Captain America. I can see pretty much Coulson being more like, not being more happier to see Captain America, but more stricter. He's going to be like on a manhunt to get him. So I kind of see that more playing out in the long run of Coulson being turned into like a harder, much colder person like Nick Fury was back in the day. So I think his alter ego, his what's that word? His mood behavior is gonna make a big impact on the film universe.
That's actually a good question, and I want to get to it right
I
after
didn't
this.
get the question.
That's just it. Is I'm not going to ask it until you do your wild speculation.
Oh wait, for me, I thought you were talking about Charles. I only have
Fuck
speculation about next week's episode.
All right, and what speculation do you have about next week's episode?
Well, we're meeting for the first time in live action. We're meeting Bobby Morris, aka Mockingbird, played by Adrian Palicki. And as you guys know, some spoilers for next week's episode. She is the head of Hydra Security, but I think she's undercover. That
Okay.
she is faking it.
Hmm.
That's all I have to say. So
Cool.
Charles, do you remember your speculation now?
I am
No.
drawing a blank.
Go fuck himself. Mute him.
So
Just mute
make
him.
something up right now. Just like say a name and then say an action and then complete the sentence.
Please.
Uh,
It's easy. Fitz hangs out with Mockingbird. See, there's a wild
There you
speculation.
go. Anything, for God's sakes.
all right, here's something, and it's going to be something involving Andy's speculation with Mockingjay potentially being undercover. I think that it's not a matter of if she's undercover. I think she is undercover, and she's going to discover that, and by looking for the mole and everything, instead of being undercover and trying to undermine Hydra, I think she's actually going to help Simmons. I think she's going to help her. Like, Simmons ends up getting found out, and the two of them get the hell out of there, and they escape. And that's about the best I can come up with.
Wow.
So it's just expanding on Andy's, but I understand.
That's fair. That's fair.
And the question is in that particular case is she undercover or does she have a change of heart? And I guess we'll probably see that soon.
Yeah.
The episode 5 is the episode I've been most excited about this whole season since they announced the casting and that she was coming to the show.
Now I have a wild speculation question for everyone.
Okay.
Phil Coulson's loyalties in the Civil War, if the Civil War is the same as it is in the comic books, do you think Phil Coulson is going to be following Iron Man and his everyone should be accountable, or do you think he's going to follow Captain America in Civil Liberties?
He's a
Well,
fire Iron
if
Man.
it's true, that's a big question because we don't even know how, because that's in 2016, so
Right.
that's,
But-
and we don't even know if the show will still even be on air by that point, and if he will even be back in the movies. But I think that if he's in it, I think he's gonna agree with both sides, and I think he's gonna be conflicted.
Well, I see what you're saying, Andy, but in the Shield, they just went with Iron Man because it was the law, and that it was just that moment that everything shifted so badly for all characters, for both sides, because it was pretty much the government's own doing. And I know what they were trying to do, like keep people safe, but it's gonna take like the Age of Ultron event play a big factor. So the government's gonna say, we should pretty much Registration Act, yes, and Iron Man's gonna be like, oh, okay, I'll become a big dick now, okay. Because he's gonna make, because this is just my speculation here. He might make the Iron Avengers. If anyone ever knows about them, I do. But he might make them and actually counteract his own teammates if it does come to that point.
How about you, Charles? What do you think?
I'm going to have to agree with Andy. I think that Coulson is going to be conflicted between the two because he's never really liked Tony Stark. I mean, he's always thought of him as arrogant and egotistical, which in reality is actually quite accurate to describe Tony Stark.
Yeah,
but then
Tony
again,
Stark would say that as well.
But then again, you have Coulson's basically sense of admiration for Captain America, being one of his biggest fans, having a near mint collector trading cards
And
of
watching
Captain
him sleep.
America. Yeah, watching him sleep and all that stuff. So I think he'd be conflicted. Like on the Iron Man side of it, I think that he would understand like how the Registration Act would be beneficial, but on the Captain America side, he could see how it could be a violation of the civil liberties of those heroes.
Right, and also to make this one thing clear, the comic book and the movie has to be a little bit more different because the ending was so good, it can't be the same as the movie because it has to change for do some things. I won't spoil what it was or is. Don't forget the book is old, but I can't tell you what it is because you have to read it yourself. And I really, really hope they do this right and not just screw it up and just fuck over what Civil War did for a lot of comic books in that time period. So I really hope the best, but I'm worried.
Well, if Civil War is really happening in Captain America 3, we will see what happens then. But
I really hope. I hope it's good.
Something I want to point out, and then we can wrap things up. Is if they are going to do a Civil War storyline, they're going to have to introduce a lot more superheroes between now and then.
Well, not really. I mean, the X-Men, they can do without them, to be honest. Spider-Man, they kind of do need, because he was a moral part of Marvel, and he was having a hard time choosing which side he wants to go on. So they need Spider-Man. So that's why maybe Marvel and Sony's been making some deals. That's why you got Sinister
There's been
Six.
some talks about it, and
Right.
that's why you've been noticing Spider-Man 3 isn't really in development right now, so uh, well so we will see what happens,
Right.
but like I said, it's way too early to think about these things because we don't even know if the rumors are true. Some even though Variety reported this,
Right.
we don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen.
I'm still nervous, but hey, we gotta wait and see.
I was gonna say it's very difficult to find a more reliable source in Hollywood than Variety.
Right.
But okay, let's wrap up. Andy, tell us what you're doing.
I'm doing hellcarepodcast.com. You can find me on Twitter at S.H.I.E.L.D Radio, and you will get all the information there. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and iTunes and Stitcher Radio.
Cool. All right, Charles, are you doing anything at all?
Not right now, no.
Wow.
All right. Isaiah, what are you doing?
All right, folks. Now it's time for the good shit, which is me. I have Isaiah Zone, folks. Yes, I pretty much say what I want and say because my opinion is better. And also, if you like my videos, but you don't have to, join the zone of our community. Yes, Andy's, Charles, and Matt, and whoever's. It's all of our community. We're not just one person. No, we're one entity. Like Isaiah logic up in this bitch.
Oh, wow.
All right, and I'm doing, of course, we're doing the Geeks Around stuff. So we're doing this show. We're doing Flash right after this. We've got Walking Dead going on right now. We have Sleepy Hollow going on right now.
Which I'm hosting.
What's that? Which Charles is hosting. We have American Horror Story. We've got Blacklist. We got all sorts of things going on. A total of 7 different shows going on. So check it out. Geeksoftheround.com, youtube.com/geeksoftheround. Like, subscribe, all that other fun stuff. And check us out next week. Thank you for watching, and we're out of here.